What you're about to think about, I'd recommend not following it all the way through. Because this question has no answer. If you had never been born, would the world be exactly the same as it is right now? Stop for a second. Really think about it. A world without you in it. Would that world be running perfectly fine? No gaps, no problems, no difference at all? Most people answer this question instinctively. Of course it would be different. I'm special. But here's where an uncomfortable truth shows up. The world probably would have gone on almost exactly the same. This story starts with a statistic. Right now, roughly 8.2 billion people are alive on Earth. And across all of human history, the total number of people who have ever lived and died is around 100 billion. 100 billion. Out of all of them, how many names do we actually remember? A few thousand. Maybe tens of thousands at most. The rest, over 99 billion people, were born, lived, loved, suffered, and disappeared, without a trace. And here's where it gets strange. Imagine that one of those 99 billion people had simply never existed. Would the world have collapsed? Would a war have stopped? Would a single page of a history book have changed? No, nothing would have happened. The world would exist in exactly the same shape it does now, with or without that person. This is the first uncomfortable truth. But here's where things start to get strange. Right now, you're probably thinking, quietly underneath it all, that's about nameless people. I'm different. But here's a part that psychologists rarely talk about. It's called self-centered bias. Our brains are built to cast ourselves as the main character of the world. Ever since you were born, your brain has never once truly been able to imagine a world without you in it, because the one doing the imagining is you. If you didn't exist, there'd be no you left to imagine anything. And here, the story heads somewhere much darker. In 1946, a film was released. It was called It's a Wonderful Life. The main character believes the world would be better off if he'd never been born, and he's about to jump off a bridge. Then an angel appears and shows him. If he hadn't existed, his brother would have drowned as a child, and the hundreds of lives he went on to save would never have existed either. A beautiful story, a comforting one. But it's a movie? In real life, no one hands you an answer that clean. And here, everything changes. In 2011, a research team ran an unusual experiment. They asked people to write out, in detail, exactly how the world would be different if they had never been born. Most people couldn't write more than a few sentences. Because when you actually think it through, almost nothing changes. Your parents would have lived different lives. Your friends would have found other friends. Someone else would have sat in that seat on the bus you once sat in. The world would have quietly filled in the space where you were, the way water closes over a stone. But that wasn't the worst part. The truly unsettling part starts here. Push this question a little further, and you run into another one. Then why do I exist at all? If the world could have run just fine without you, then you don't exist because the world needed you. You exist because of an accident. The accident of your parents' meeting on that day, at that moment. The accident, 1 in 300 million, of one cell meeting another. You weren't born because the world asked for you. It just happened. This is a part almost no one talks about. From the moment we're born, we spend our lives trying to attach meaning to ourselves. I was born for a reason. I have a special purpose. But statistics, probability, and this cold little thought experiment say the opposite. You were one possibility, tossed out indifferently by the universe. That possibility just happened to come true. But here, the story turns completely. If the world would be the same without you, does that really make you meaningless? Here's the second truth. The vast structure we call the world keeps running without you. True? But your world does not exist without you. The laugh of the person you loved, a smell from one summer evening that only you remember, the pain you felt, the joy, the quiet of one particular dawn. None of that leaves a mark on the larger world. But inside the one universe that is uniquely yours, it was everything. This was never really a story about existence. It's a story about why we fight so hard to become someone who matters. We want to leave a trace on the world. We want to be remembered. We want to believe that if we were gone, something would change. But maybe that desperate struggle itself is proof that some part of us already knows just how small we are. And here is the final turn. The world would have gone on the same without you. Wars would still have happened. Seasons would still have changed. The stars would still be shining. But right now, in this exact moment, watching this, having this thought, feeling this unease, getting chills at this question, that experience only you can have. The world may never have needed you to exist, but the fact that you exist, right now, in this moment, cannot be replaced by anything. So let's ask again, if you had never been born, would the world be the same? Probably yes. But now that you have been born, the world is only ever experienced through your eyes. And that might be bigger and more singular than the whole world put together. The moment you're gone, the world will stay exactly as it is. But the thing that was experiencing it, that disappears forever. So maybe the real question isn't whether the world will remember you. It's how deeply, right now, you're living this moment.